It's going to be very interesting to see where the MCU goes from here, but with the rolling of the credits for Far From Home, we close out the final chapter of Phase 3. And I'll just add, hopefully the Marvel-Sony deal for Spider-Man will keep going for many years to come. Don't screw it up, Sony. Please. God damn it, Sony! Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Infinite Omega, with me, Black Death. So yeah, we've got some pretty disappointing news we've learned today, via an exclusive by Deadline Hollywood that has reported that the negotiations between Sony and Marvel Studios for the shared custody of Spider-Man have come to a standstill. The negotiations would have been to come to terms for a new deal, following the completion of the previous deal that began with Spider-Man's introduction into the MCU in Captain America Civil War, and concluded with his appearance in Spider-Man Far From Home. Some of the known details of the now-ended deal are that Spider-Man would appear in 5 MCU movies, 3 crossovers and 2 standalones. The crossovers of course being Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, and the standalone being Homecoming and Far From Home. However, Sony actually signed Tom Holland on for 6 movies, seemingly leaving the door open that they could either do another one with Marvel, or possibly go it alone. And in a monumentally brilliant move that only the brain trust at Sony could have made, they decided to end the deal. Yes, that means Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios will no longer be acting in any production capacity on future Spider-Man movies with Sony, effectively removing Tom Holland and Spider-Man as a character from the MCU altogether. Now, this is extremely disappointing, because as we could see in Far From Home, it seemed obvious that Marvel was building up Peter Parker and Spider-Man as a whole to have a more prominent role in the MCU's future. But now we can kiss all that goodbye, including any resolution to any remaining dangling plot threads left at the end of Far From Home. Thank you, Sony, you complete morons. Seriously, the only thing you had to do was come to a new agreement with Marvel and they would have continued making you money, because unlike you, they actually know what the hell they're doing and how to make a good Spider-Man movie. The article states that one of Sony's major points of contention, and what ultimately seems to have led to the negotiations failing, is that Marvel was pushing for more of a 50-50 split on production, as well as an increase in profits. Now, to be fair to Sony, I can see why they wouldn't be in love with that idea, given that they were making about 95% of the profits from the 2 standalone Spider-Man movies. But Sony seems to be forgetting it was they who were responsible for almost driving the franchise into the ground with the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and it's only thanks to Marvel's guidance and Spider-Man's integration into the MCU as a whole that these new movies have been as successful as they have. But of course, Sony, having seen the success of both Homecoming and Far From Home, as well as the inexplicable success of Venom, they've decided they can go it alone. And hey, in the short term, that probably will work out for them. When the next movie comes out starring Tom Holland, when you see the trailer for it, I can all but guarantee you that Sony will do everything they can to obfuscate the fact that it is not actually part of the MCU. They'll simply ride on the coattails of the success of the MCU version of the character, while trusting in general audiences' lack of awareness of what's going on behind the scenes. And like I said, I'm sure they will do everything they can to make audiences think it's still part of the MCU, while skirting but probably not crossing that line that would get them into trouble with Marvel. And no doubt this will mean he'll probably also get shoehorned into Venom 2. Wait, what? Okay, I hadn't heard about that. Anyway, like I said, this is disappointing news, and I just wanted to make this video to briefly share my own feelings about it. I'm sure what I'm feeling is what a lot of fans of the MCU are feeling at this point. It's really frustrating to see how Sony can be so short-sighted and chasing after making just a little extra on their own, when in the long run I'm sure it's not going to pay off. And I mean, what are they going to call the next movie? Spider-Man Home Alone? He's got no one else from the MCU to hang out with now. Actually, that would work. Well, those are some of my thoughts on the news at any rate, but what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Also, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, as well as share it out with your friends. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel, as I'll always be bringing you more great content in the future. For now though, this is Infinite Omega. I've been Black Deatha, and this has just been a short video talking about the, well, crappy news about Marvel and Sony and Spider-Man. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. You guys have yourselves an amazing day. Goodbye.